Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Plinking, bringing you guys a video on a review that I might not otherwise do, and I'll explain why we're actually getting into this review. But typically a review might be on a particular firearm. Otherwise, if it's not a review, it's just plinking around, as the name of the channel would suggest. But in this video, we will be reviewing the Strikeman laser-based dry fire training system. If you guys recall, a few videos back, they actually were cool enough to sponsor a video, which is always appreciated on this channel. So being a recreational gun YouTube channel, why am I making a full review on this training system? Well, it breaks down to a few reasons, and I'll break down each one very, very clearly. The first one, you guys may not know this, but I actually shoot on property that is not owned by myself. Being in Central Texas, Texas in general, land is, well, you could shoot at an actual shooting range, you pay to attend, and they have a lot of strict rules, or you're lucky enough to shoot on private property. I'm fortunate enough to shoot on private property, but it's not my own. Why do I mention that? Well, the landowner that lets me shoot on his properties knows very, very clearly what I do, and he's been awesome letting me do it. I give him a 24-hour notice that I'm going to shoot a video the next day. He says, go ahead. It's been awesome. I take care of what I do. I pick up my brass. I don't cause too much damage at all. And so he's very cool for doing that. However, I got a text saying that he's going to need the property pretty much uninterrupted because he'll be hunting on it from November and December. That put me in a little bit of a tough spot. I can only complain so much because he's cool enough to let me shoot on that beautiful piece of property anyway. But I pretty much had to shoot all of November and December's video in the course of one weekend, most of that being on one day. It was Sunday of a few weeks back. So other than the Big Daddy Unlimited shoot, I could have gone roughly about 2 months without doing any new shooting. I would have had withdrawals, and well, that just wouldn't sit well with me. Come January, I'd be shooting videos again, and I would be all over the place, like I'm not too bad already. So that kind of introduced this. Strikeman, like I said, they were cool enough to sponsor a video. They said, do you want to do a full review as a sponsored video? And I said, that's not typically my wheelhouse, but I'm in this weird position to where I'm not going to do any shooting. If you guys find yourself in a similar situation, whatever the case may be, this is pretty cool. Not to mention, ammo right now is just absolutely a pain in the butt to find. To stay on top of your game and all that stuff in an ammo crisis, or if you're just, not able to shoot at a particular range, this is a really, really cool system. It emphasizes the benefits of dry fire a ton. That said though, huge thanks once more for Strikeman for sponsoring this review video. And each time a company is cool enough to do a sponsored video, I am that little step closer to owning my own property. And that's the end all goal, man. If I could own my own property, I'm just gonna leave burning cars there to shoot and all kinds of stuff. And the content should get pretty fun at that point. But land is kind of expensive. So in short, what the Strikeman system is a little laser that goes into the actual barrel of your gun with a little rubber backer. And each time you dry fire it, drop the hammer, it illuminates that laser for a split second. Now that little piece that goes into the gun is caliber specific, and they have quite a slew of options. They've got 9mm, 380 ACP, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP, 38 Special, 357 SIG, and 223 556. And I wouldn't be surprised if they expand on that in the future, but that's already quite a slew of options and some of the most popular rounds to train with. You get a target and a target stand. Now the target size and dimension is specific to use with the app. That said, it also comes with a smartphone stand that can adjust to fit all kinds of different sizes phones. So at this point, you can just set up your target and target stand. You put your phone on the phone stand behind it, but make sure it doesn't obscure your line of sight when you're dry firing behind the phone. And then at this point, the most basic form of training is once you plug in the distance, you could do feet or yards. You just put in your distance so it's well calibrated, like I said. The most basic form of training is just standing behind it, take your time, present the gun, dry fire, take your time with just lining up in the pull, everything like that. Try to get some nice, precise bullseyes. Try to mess around with some different guns. Personally, I have the 9mm and the 556 that we'll be using a little bit later in this video. But yeah, that's the most basic form. Just get behind it, and at that point, it's good training, but also kind of feels like an arcade. Like I said, compete with friends, family. It's pretty cool. Now, if you're standing far enough away to where you can't see the target or your phone, you can actually turn on voice feedback, and it'll tell you your score as you're shooting.
10, 9.
Now, the first thing it asks you when you're setting up is going to be day or night mode. In most cases, I'd imagine it's probably going to be day mode, even though you're shooting indoors. The night mode is very, very cool, and that brings me to the next point and how you can use this in certain scenarios. As a matter of fact, I won't pass the gravy.
8.
One of those scenarios being something like a bump in the night or something like that. You could try training from getting out of bed, putting the target over by where the entrance to the door is, stuff like that, or otherwise, going into the kitchen at night and just having the target somewhere on a kitchen island or something. You get the point. You can train with this thing at night, and that's pretty cool because that might totally change the feel of the way you train. Another scenario is something like rounding out a corner. like kind of that bump in the night drill, I guess, if you're kind of up and you can leave the master bedroom door and you can have the target put wherever like the entrance of the house might be, wherever a threat might possibly be. But that drill of rounding out a corner and presenting a gun can totally change the dynamic as well. So that's another drill, something where you're moving and then presenting quickly. Another one I could think about is something like practicing from drawing from concealed carry, like drawing from a holster or something like that. How quick can you get that draw and that first shot off? If you're practicing with the 1911, have it in the cocked and locked position. How quick can you present that and then shoot? Cool thing is, again, you're training without ammunition, so that can kind of take that intimidation out. So you don't end up like that one guy who, I just effing shot myself. Not a good time, I'd imagine. So this kind of takes away that whole thing. So it's an easy way to start, concealed carrying and training without that intimidation that some beginners might have. Might have been lucky on that one.
8.
Should have stopped while I was ahead. Shooting within about 6 or 7 feet here seems really, really close, I know. So you could back it out if you want. But I heard so many times that the average engagement for self-defense with a pistol is right around within this range. And so many times they don't even remember seeing their sights when defending themselves. That said, let's try to pop this one off without even looking at my sights. Just shots on target. All right, ready?
5.
Ooh, not good, but on target.
9.
Ooh. A little excessive for this close of range, but we'll try it out.
6.
Height over bore, height over bore.
10.
Once I'm done with my session, I go ahead and hit stop right here. At this point, I could download it, I could share it. That doesn't look like it's worthy of being shared. It shows me shots taken, average rating, total score. At this point, I could start a new one. You can also go to your history, see previous sessions. Now, before you guys ask, some of the example guns I'm going to be showing off here are for the 9mm. We got a 6-hour P226 Legion SAO. I love this thing, and you guys would know that if you're not new around here. And then a good old AR-15 with the 16-inch barrel, 12-inch quad rail. A little bit more of a cumbersome thing, so that might kind of show you some realization. If you thought this was kind of a good gun for rounding out a corner, it might change the way you set up a gun just because you're kind of going through the motion. All right, so wrapping up the review, how much does this cost? Well, the whole kit, as you see it, is $99. Considering that's nearing the price per round of 9mm right now, doesn't seem too bad. Anyway, guys, if you're afraid that you might try it and not like it, no worries. You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it at the end of it, Strikeman will take care of you, so that's pretty cool. I don't imagine that'll happen, though, because I genuinely do like this. Even though they're sponsoring this video, which I'm very appreciative of, I've spent some time with this unit, and I'm like, honestly, it's pretty fun. My friends and family seem to like it. It's kind of like an arcade if you want it to be, or it could be a very, very strategic training device. So use it as you want. I just want to end real quick by saying big thanks to you guys for watching to make all this possible in the first place, and then thanks to Strikeman for sponsoring this video. Whenever I get sponsorship opportunities like this, just know I'm very, very appreciative, and all that money just goes right back into the channel by buying some very, very silly guns, and hopefully eventually my own property so we could blow some stuff up. But that's a pipe dream for now. Hopefully it'll be realized sooner than later. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.